Good morning. It is Tuesday, February 6th, and we will go over a bunch of stuff. There's particularly a couple of things with Josh Brown's newsletter that I particularly like about how to trade earnings, how the media reports earnings, and some AI investments that maybe you don't know about. China isn't done. We'll go over earnings, Palantir, NXPI, Lilly, Spotify. Today, after hours, Amgen, Fortinet. And tomorrow, before the bell, we got Baba, Roblox, Uber, Disney, ARM, and PayPal are after the bell. We'll go over SMCI versus NVIDIA, the PE, some of the things that I see where I think SMCI is going. Pinterest is reporting, and then social requests, and then the scans. So let's start the day with, we already opened up. It's now 9:45, and the market Qs is up 0.14. That's typically what I try and follow. That's the index that I just have not been able to beat for years. We talked about the button hook happening up here. It did happen, but the algorithm didn't get you out. The algorithm is way smarter than I am. So if you're interested in the algorithm, again, TRENDSPIDER, you can go over to Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick, and it's the top one you can get. Use code DSP25 for 25% off. You have a trial, a 7-day trial for $29. What you do is you go over to Linktree, sign up for TRENDSPIDER, and then you're going to email me, and I will email you back the algorithm, everything of that sort, blah, 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 the whole thing. But we talked about a button hook, and the button hook happened. Algorithm didn't get you out. Again, the algorithm makes you 32% in just the Qs over 24 months. You know what you get if you bought it 24 months ago and you just held it? 19%, almost double what you would have had. So the algorithm works. It's very good. It's very good. So it works on some, not on others, but we'll talk about some of the stocks too today. One thing that I wanted to point out, we have a private Facebook group, and again, on the Linktree, you can join the private Facebook group. You just have to answer who hosts the daily podcast, Daily Stock Pick podcast. So Numbers Guy joined yesterday. I want to point this out. Joined yesterday and then posts this in this stunning evidence that NerveGen has the goods. This is what he posted. It's a news article from stockhouse.com. I want to point this out, and I will delete this afterwards. I mean, Numbers Guy is still in there, but I'm going to delete this whole thing. If you want to read it, join the Facebook group and read it. Not the article, just read the comments. I urge you not to read the article. I don't know if there's spam on there. I did read the article. It is horrific. It is nothing more than an absolute pump and dump. Absolute pump and dump. This is a guy who joins the group, has 7 friends on Facebook, joins the group yesterday, 7 friends on Facebook, okay? And says, this one's going to pop. I said, likely it's just a pump and dump. Good return. I would talk about it, but it's super small cap. There's like 1 million shares existing. Dude says he owns it for 5 years now. I don't even think this stock has been around for 5 years. So this is just something you want to avoid. It's just a classic example of something you want to avoid. He fully admitted he owned it for 5 years, didn't want to trade it. His money's managed by a professional manager, he says. I asked, well, what's the professional manager's return? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. I just do these bets every now and then. Yeah, be careful. So that's why the Facebook group is private. That's why it's there. Earnings seasons. This is a great newsletter from Josh Brown from February 5th, so just yesterday, how the media covers earnings season. And it's super, super interesting. If you're playing earnings and you don't understand how earnings actually work to the point where the media covers it and the market reaction, this is a really good newsletter to read. Understand that something like Intel, all the numbers were baked in for Intel. Everything except for the guidance. And the guidance didn't meet the street's estimates, and so they dinged the stock. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't as bad as what the media is saying that it was. So what he's pointing out is the number hits at 4 o'clock, 4:15, the conference called Bentigans, and by 5:30, the narrative is already set. The press has their take, and the take will usually be an amalgam of the tweets that sent from investors and a few snippets they pulled from the company's release. This is it. This is exactly, it's a class 101 on how the media covers earnings. So understand, you're trying to create your own narrative. That's exactly what's happening in the media. So understand, this is exactly what happens. I think it's a really good article if you want to read it. In another one, and this one's from January 31st, he went over another way to play AI trend this year. And I like this. Some stocks here's a quote from Josh Brown's newsletter. Alphabet and Microsoft probably going to be, let me see, where is it? I'll read it directly from here so you can see it on screen. Services stocks, let me see. I don't know where it is, but I'll read it from my notes. Alphabet and Microsoft are probably going to be the biggest platform players and the most adept at weaving AI services into their existing software products. Arista Networks and Supermicro supply critical components to the build-out of AI-enabled data centers. Again, that's important. Arista Networks and Supermicro computers. Of course, there's NVIDIA and AMD, the premier semiconductor companies supplying GPUs and nonlinear processors, and the related software that allow for AI workflows to amaze and delight end users of the technology. So this entire thing goes through all of his thoughts. Now, you can listen to his podcast. You can listen to everything. He is super, super up on this. Now, he's in SMCI. Understand, he's talking his own book. He is 100% talking his own book. But in this newsletter, there's a few stocks that we want to take a look at. First is SMCI, which is in the core portfolio, which hopefully you haven't slept on. It's at 656 right now. This will probably be at 700. It was 700 in the pre-market, so it probably will go back to 700 at some point in time. It means it's got that price in the stock. We'll go over SMCI a little bit later, because they've already had their earnings. Understand, they've already had their earnings. The catalyst on that one is out. The one where the catalyst is just coming in is NVIDIA. This was also in his newsletter. NVIDIA is coming out February 21st. Now, I've said this for many, many times, and I left this in the newsletter yesterday. I left these notes in. Trading between 4 and 500, it's putting in a nice shelf here. That's a big range, 4 to 500. You didn't want to miss out by buying it at 480, but you also didn't want to, buy it at 410 because you thought it might slip to 300. Psychology of trading. I understand every one of you. That's what it is. Then there's an old note that I put in. That's an old note above. Expect this one to get to 600 before earnings, and if justified, to 650. Well, where did it start going? It started going up when SMCI said, we don't have enough people, we don't have enough parts to do all of the AI installations that we need to do. And what does that mean? That means NVIDIA is selling out of their chips. That means NVIDIA has pricing power. Both of these old notes show how right the trend has been. Do you get in at 685? We'll talk about it a little bit later because I have some thoughts on valuation on that. Another one, and this is one that I own, AMD. This does not have a catalyst. It does not have a catalyst because they've already had earnings. This one is, let's see, it's down 2%. It's at 169. It is a little bit expensive. Understand, this one is expensive. They gave guidance that said, hey, our AI chips are going to be a little bit delayed. The PE is 326. The forward PE is 31. That is an incredibly high price to pay for somebody that's just getting into that. So I would argue NVIDIA is probably your short-term player. AMD may be your long-term player because if they can take some share away. But do your own research. The one that he mentioned that I think has an opportunity is Arista Networks. And this one, their earnings are coming out February 12th, so next week. Arista Networks has just been killing it. I don't think that these guys get the SMCI type bounce. They very well could, but I don't think that they do. ANET it's run. We'll take a look at this. The PE is 45. The forward PE is 37. I think they kill it, but over 1 year, it's up 104%. Its 52-week range is between 129 and 276. You're 2% from the up top. Its target price is 255. So, and that's all from the last year. You know, the most recent price, December 14th, Citigroup put it in as a buy from 220 to 300. So great, you have 10% in the stock. You know, if they blow away earnings, if they don't, you're probably pulling back to the 250 mark, 240, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, you know, ANET, pretty good one. Another one, two other ones that he mentioned, which are just killers, and you want to get into Microsoft and Google. Both of them have just ways of putting it in, putting AI into their services. You know, one that he doesn't talk about that I continue to think is an AI play is Apple. These guys have, you know, what, hundreds of millions, if not billions of devices out on Earth. Yeah. But you add in all the devices that they have that could connect to Siri if they start monetizing some type of AI play on Siri. I like it. Again, read the newsletter. Understand it's a really good way to play AI. I think there's some really good names in there. We'll go over SMCI in a little bit. One thing that I want to point out to you, Kyle Bass, who is I call him a China expert. I mean, I know he's, you know, he's done some other things, but I do think he's a China expert. And he says every single property developer in China that's public or listed is in default. This is just like the U.S. financial crisis on steroids. Imagine regulators blaming a 15-year swoon on their stock market on short sellers. If you haven't been paying attention, China is blaming short sellers. They've stopped short selling. Their small caps are down like 30, 40%. You're going to have problems getting out of this as it free falls. So Baba reports after hours on Wednesday, before hours on Wednesday. I'd rather you play Uber, but Baba might be an interesting one. I just don't think that China's done. Now, China's demise helps our economy in a way, certain ways. It hurts our economy in other ways, but you know, again, I think that one. Palantir, if you guys got into Palantir, high five. By the way, Josh Brown, ACANGL. I'll put all this in the newsletter, and I'll put some charts in there for you, but there's 3 service sectors, AI services that he talked about. Earnings, Palantir, off the charts. I've noticed, let's see, we'll look at the Palantir chart. I saw... it's up at 21. I mean, it just continues to soar. You have to hold 1980. 1980 is a key price for today that you want to hold. If we pull this back here and we look at the last time it reached 20, where's a volume shelf? It's right there at 1980. So you want to hold that 1980. Right now, you have no fear of holding that 1980. You're trading at 21.27. It has even popped as the market opened. More people are getting into this one. Jim Cramer says he finally likes this one, so be aware. It's a little bit dangerous because of the pop. It is expensive. Palantir is just one of those names that will pop and then it will drop. I don't want you buying here at 21. I want you to wait for 3 days and then see how this shakes out. If it comes back under 20, buy it. I've held this for many, many, many months, probably since August, probably even before that. I think in June, I said you can buy this at 12. I think it pops to 20. It popped right here to 16. You can see in June, it popped up to 20. You can see here in November, it popped up to 21. I think you're setting up for that next leg up to 25, but I want you to wait for 3 days. The PE is 231. The forward PE with the guidance is still 55. There's 2 upgrades today. Jefferies ups them to 22. Citigroup today upgrades them to 20. So I want you to wait for 3 days. The average target price is still 18 and you're trading at 22. It is hype. So understand that's what you want to do. One of the core portfolio, Simon Property Group, killed it. Just killed it. Simon Property Group is up 3% today, 141. You can read about that in the charts. One that I don't have the core portfolio, but had a really good earnings, NXPI. Semiconductors. Semiconductors are killing it. If you don't know which semiconductors to buy, You can buy SOXL. You can buy SOXX. SOXX is the ETF for semiconductors. Now, SOXL is a triple levered ETF. It just got you out with this 13% gain. Okay? It may get you back in right now. With NXPI going up, with NVIDIA coming out soon, this one may be one to come back. If you think that semiconductors have run too much and you want to short this, the one SOXS has you in at $5.03. We talked about this when AMD reported. If you got into SOXS in the algorithm at 503, I did not. I said this might be a play. You would have made your 10%. If you peaked it out. I thought that this gap up here between 597 and 615 was in play. It's not. It lost its confirmation. We just continue to go higher. So here's an article with the other big movers. Chegg, AI is killing that company. It's a learning company, but it's just killing it. Palantir, and we talked about BP soars as the company ramped up its buyback. The energy's just, again, I'm debating about taking other energy stocks out of the core portfolio. It took Devon out yesterday. I'm debating about others. Eli Lilly, this is in the core portfolio. This is a killer. I was just showing on Savvy Trader. If you're not signed up for Savvy Trader, I have two portfolios. I have a trading portfolio, which I don't trade much in, but it is absolutely killing it and leading every other portfolio in Savvy Trader. If we go year to date, I'm number one. If we go 3 month, I'm number one. If we go 1 month, I'm number one. If we go 1 week, I'm number one. So peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. Where you at? Where you at? But yeah, I'm number one. The one that I want to tell you about, though, is really the core portfolio. So it does cost you to subscribe to the trading portfolio. Feel free to do it. I give it away in my newsletter anyway. But feel free, if you want to see when I do the trades, feel free to sign up and pay. But the core portfolio is just 34 names where I bought 100 shares of each stock. Now, we'll go to the all-time and the allocation. And you see, Lilly is the top allocation. But Lilly also is up 33%. The reason is because I bought it at $500. So I bought it at $542. I bought it at $542, cost me $54,000. Current value is $72,000. So if you want to follow this portfolio, you can follow it based on the gainers. But again, this was bought at the all-time highs of June. Well, I should say 52-week highs of June. This portfolio was losing money. The point of this is you can buy a group of stocks, hold on to them, and lose money in the short term. And if you don't lose sleep over that and you understand that good companies with good products and good earnings and good management produce good results, then you can sleep at night. But this, they're not all winners. Boeing, I'm down 2% on. Coke, I'm down 2% on. Tesla, I'm down 32% on. I am considering pulling this out of the core portfolio. Reason is, good companies with good products, with good earnings, but good management is the question. And it's not Elon. It is his decisions on these things. It's his distractions from the company. So understand that Eli Lilly killed it. I still think it's a good one. Spotify earnings absolutely killed. They're up 7%. On nothing more than increased users. So I like Spotify. I broadcast on Spotify. They pay me. They killed it. I own the stock in my Webull account, so I like it. We just talked about Lilly killing it. Amgen's earnings are after hours. Let's see. Today's earnings after hours. We can go and we look at Amgen. I've said Amgen with the weight loss. I think this is good. We heard yesterday that their weight loss drug was looking promising. I don't know that they necessarily give any additional details on the weight loss drug, but Amgen, we talked about Lilly versus Novo in the before when I was setting up for the podcast. Lilly's PE is 135. Forward PE of 42. Novo Nordisk, NVO, which is the other weight loss drug, which is Wegovy. There's PE is less. It's 43 and 29. If we look at Amgen, which doesn't have a weight loss drug right now, but it looks promising. Now, understand, drugs like this, you could continue to probably just, not have it approved, continue on. Maybe it doesn't show good results. The PE is 23 and the forward PE is 16. This is a bet. If their PE goes up to Novo and goes up to Lilly, then you're looking at probably a $400 to $500 stock. Now, that's not in the range of the analysts. They're saying 320, 326, 300. Where you're trading, you're 326. So understand that even the analysts are not banking on that drug being an amazing, amazing drug, but they do have earnings. It's interesting. There's another one that I like today, and that's Fortinet. Full disclosure, I don't think Amgen will probably be up more than a couple of percent. I could be wrong, unless they give some weight loss drug results or something. And usually you don't do that on the earnings call. So I don't expect that, but we could see. Fortinet has earnings today after the bell. I like this one to fill this gap up to 75. I mean, now, here's what you have to know about this one. Look at the past two earnings on this. The past two earnings, we've had quite a different reaction from the earnings. The last earnings here, well, I should say we've had the same reaction look at the past three. The first one here is February of last year. This is the earnings that they did last year at this time. And it gapped up here from 54 to 60. This one, we gapped down the next earnings, which was August, from 75 down to 61. And then we gapped down from 57 all the way down to 50. So understand that these had two bad forward guidance. I completely expect this one on some guidance to fill this back up to 75. If this quarter was good, I think we're going to see the same thing. Now, it's run into the earnings, so if they don't give anything like super, super positive, I would expect it to pull back to this 50-day right at that volume shelf at about 62. But I like Fortinet, and part of the reason I like Fortinet is, here's the earnings preview, by the way, that you can do, is because in the quant, Fortinet is actually the number 2 software stock, system software stock. And I think it's PagerDuty is the number 1. Path is the number 1. Path is the number 1. So, but I like this one. The only issue is Fortinet's valuation. And I don't think that is crazy. That is not something to put this stock down with. Now, their forward is 40. If they do increase in guidance, then you'll see the stock actually rise because the PE will come down. But understand, PanW, their forward PE is 52. CrowdStrike, if we look at that one, their forward PE is 81. And these stocks are still holding up. So, yeah, Fortinet, I like this one. Again, it's cybersecurity. Wednesday, like I said, we have before the bell, Baba. Baba is up, I think, today. Let's see, 2.69. People are trying to time the bottom. I'd rather not. It has a cross up here at 75, like we said yesterday. You're at 76.59. When are you going to time the bottom? I don't want to get into China. Roblox is after the bell today. If you can get in under 40, or I'm sorry, it's before the bell tomorrow. If you can get in under 40, I think you buy it. I think you buy it for the pump. The glasses that came out with Apple Vision Pro, I think Roblox has the metaverse signed up right now. I don't know if metaverse is available in the Apple Vision Pro. I'd assume it is, but I just don't know. But Roblox, one to look at. The biggest one that we have tomorrow before earnings is the other one in the core portfolio. Again, Roblox is in the core portfolio. It's just one that I like buying under 40. Uber. Uber's at an all-time high. Uber's valuation is crazy. But everybody that's reported, Amazon included, with advertising. Google said their advertising went down. That's why the stock went down. Amazon said that their advertising went up. Uber has an advertising business. I think this is going to kill it. But understand the PE is 139. The forward PE is 62. This is at all-time highs. The average target price is 69.15. You're trading at 69.20. Again, I don't know that I'd necessarily get into this one, but it's just on valuation that I would be a little bit careful of this one. If we go over to Uber on Seeking Alpha, we can take a look. And Uber, the valuation is D minus. The quant is hold. DoorDash may be the favorite to win Super Bowl, brand buzz, MD. But again, I own Uber. I own Uber for a long time. It's at 4. I think I'm in at 40. I bought some in the 30s, didn't dollar cost average it well enough, but I think my average price is about 40 to 45. I like Uber. Solid play. Disney, ARM, and PayPal. One that I have to warn you about tomorrow is PayPal. Remember the Shock the World event that they said they would have? Kind of getting sick of it. Want to see this earnings call. Want to see what they say. If this is the turnaround, we've been capitulating right here. So the Bollinger Bands are cinching up right before earnings. It'll be interesting because if this one, if they give bad guidance, if they give some bad news, I think you're back down here in the 50s. And I think I'm done with it. At that point, I think I'm done with it. I'm selling out. I'm getting out. ARM is an interesting one because all of these chips are built on the ARM. They pay license fees to ARM. And to develop new chips, they have to pay ARM. And so this IPO was an absolute disaster, starting up here at 66, getting down to 49. The algorithm makes you 24%. Buying and holding makes you 30% on this one. It doesn't have 24 months to actually test back. So it's just got a little bit. It exemplifies why I don't like IPOs. Wait until you get a 200-day. I would still wait until you get a 200-day. The problem is I think this one's going to cross up here. See how it's crossing up? And the RSI's in no man's land? I think it might be a good time to buy. 73. It's extended. Understand it is extended. It's fairly expensive here. They're not making money. Well, I'm sorry. This may be their second earnings, so they just don't have enough information. Let's take a look at ARM in Seeking Alpha. They can usually give us a better sense of where it is. Seeking Alpha analysts say sell. Quant, it's not covered. Wall Street says buy. You make up your mind. It just doesn't have enough information. I think you may be able to take a chance on that one. But, okay. So let's take a look at, and Disney, by the way. Disney's Disney. If they announce something big, you'll see a pop up over 100. Buy it in the 90s for long term. SMCI versus NVIDIA. What I wanted to do was chart some things, and specifically the PE. And this is a 1-year chart of the PE of SMCI and NVIDIA. You can see how NVIDIA has become cheaper. As their earnings have grown, it's actually become cheaper to buy. So back here in 2023, when they were running up this whole time, and that's where the earnings were in, and then AI came in. And all of a sudden, NVIDIA could basically rip off someone's left arm, and they'd say with their right arm, "Can I buy your chip?" And that would be that. And so it got cheaper, and you just ran with the earnings here. It just, it kind of, we talked about NVIDIA during this time, just kind of trading in between 400 and 500, nothing huge. And then earnings came out and it got cheaper. Hopefully you bought more when it was at 54, because today it's at 87. It's not extended. Again, they have to provide some type of forward guidance that gives them even more. But SMCI at 45, it's gotten a little bit expensive compared to history. Now, the difference is NVIDIA is providing the hardware platform for SMCI to provide the services. It's whichever one you want to buy. But NVIDIA today, let's see where NVIDIA is. It will get over 700. It got over 700 yesterday. It's at 680 right now. It's down 1.29%. SMCI will get back over 700. It's at 645 right now. If you take a look at a 5-minute chart, that's what we were just looking at with the Bollinger Band cinching up, and it was losing some type of confirmation. And it's on the downside. I would not buy it right now on the 5-minute. I would wait for some type of support, maybe around 627 or so. But is this the downturn? This is what I saw in the 5-minute, by the way. And I pointed this out on the YouTube Live. You've got divergence here. And for anyone that wants to know what divergence is, in my newsletter, I go over divergence right there. What it is, how you can identify it. It's just basically one indicator's going one way, another indicator's going another. Price action is going up, but RSI is going down. That means a reversal is coming. And the reversal down has started. Where does it come down? Maybe it covers this gap to 581. Maybe it hits this volume shelf at 626. You have to watch it. Am I getting out of SMCI? No. I've got it in my retirement account. When the 4-hour tells me to get out, I will get out. But I'm not jumping the gun on this one. You can see on a 4-hour, we still have confirmation. We haven't even started to turn around yet. You have a candle that's outside yesterday's afternoon candle. So I think we still have some bullish trends in this. And I think, the volume shelves are building up here between 652 and 681. So I think you'll be fine. But SMCI, NVIDIA, I think you're fine. SMCI, by the way, just so you're aware, had an insider buy from a director. If we go over here to FinViz and we take a look, SMCI, dude bought 1.13 million, 2,000 shares at 568. So understand, that's probably your base right now at 568. This is a director. So you can see before this, everybody was selling. The last one was August 11th. Dude bought, the same director bought 4,000 shares at 265. He's putting $1 million in every time he's buying. So, look at the same dude. Bought at 133. Bought 400,000. This dude's just been ringing the cash register on these buys. Okay, that director, solid guidance. He's buying at 588. So if you want to wait for a pullback, I don't know that we'll get back to 588, but it's going to be NVIDIA earnings that will kick this one off. Pinterest. If we look at Pinterest deal with Amazon may lead to Google pact. So Piper Sandler is saying that there might be a partnership with Pinterest and Google. The Amazon deal with Pinterest pushed it out. This has the earnings on Thursday. This is an interesting one. Elliott Management is in this. The PE is crazy. Understand that this one and Snap, I think, are kind of go hand in hand. Snap's earnings, I think they're Thursday as well, if I'm not mistaken. Snap earnings are today. Let's see. Snap earnings are today after the bell. I own this one. I own small amount of shares, not a huge amount, but I do own it. You can see we're capitulating right here in between the 15 and 19 realm. 17, if we go over here to FinViz and we take a look at Snapchat. Snapchat, its average target price is 14. You're trading at 17. Most recently, Piper Sandler today upped its price from 12 to 17. Might be a risk. Again, these guys aren't making money. That's the problem with Snapchat. But if they show some type of user growth and some other stuff, you can see, the MACD's moving down, overbought since October, moving down, but the price action is just moving to the side. That either means that we're going to cinch up and we're going to go down, or we're going to cinch up and we're going to go up. So keep an eye on both Pins and Snap. Pins is Thursday. I think it's going to trade on Snap stuff today. Limit Up. ACLS, I've owned it for a few years. I'm wondering if it's time to take profits or double down. ACLS. What is ACLS? I don't even know. ACLS. Excelis Technologies. You've owned it for a couple of years? I wonder how it's doing long term. Let's see. Solid long term. Bad short term. I can tell you from it hit that 200 mark and moved down 37%. I think my guess is, let's see, you're putting in pretty good volume shelf right there. I mean, if you look at it, you've got this move back. So you've got some type of support being held here between 121 and 134. From a short-term perspective, my algorithm makes you, by the way, 69% versus 107% buy and hold. Algorithm has you out right before earnings. I don't know enough about this stock to ACLS. Let's see. ACLS, Axcelis, Semiconductor, PE of 18, forward PE of 16. They do report earnings. Their average target price is 165. You're trading at 128. Most recent downgrade, buy to neutral. So nobody, back in September, Bank of America thought it was worth 225. It never got to that 52-week range of 105 to 201. Why is a semiconductor? I mean, this is what I would worry about, ACLS. Why is a semiconductor at a time that is, semiconductors are just killing it? Why is this one so bad? That's what I would worry about. And it's 17 of 29. It's in its thing. What's number one? PLAB, semiconductor equipment. I'm at a loss. I wouldn't double down on it. I'd rather miss the first 10%. I'd get, for me, I don't know the name, so I'd probably get out. But if you know something about it, great. Jay Ferrulo, 2 AI-related stocks. VRT I know nothing about. But it's been, hyped up, looks like. 48.42 is the buy-in on the algorithm. This one's running. VRT, let's take a look at the valuation on this one. Industrials, electrical equipment and parts. PE of 92, forward PE of 26, up 25% year to date. Looks like everybody's upgrading this one. Take it with a grain of salt. Doesn't look like insiders are getting into this. What do they do? Engages design, manufacture, and services of critical digital infrastructure technology that powers, cools, deploys, secures, and maintains electronics that process and store, transmit data. Yeah, it's an electrical service. This is kind of like an SMCI, I think. But VRT, we can go over here to Seeking Alpha and look at VRT. It's very similar to SMCI, I think, but the other one that they name is a really good one too. Let's see, 6 out of 71. This is Powell Industries. Powell Industries is the one that, ironically, Alpha Picks, which I put in yesterday, is on sale. It's on sale on Thursday, not yesterday. I put it in that it was on sale yesterday, but Thursday, Alpha Picks goes down from $99 to $89. This is one of their top picks, Powell Industries. So Vertiv, I don't think it's a bad one, but I think Powell Industries might be the better one. And here's where Powell Industries is. You can look at all of the Powell Industries stuff right here. Alpha Picks. If you join Alpha Picks for $100, how do you join it? Well, you go down here. It's $99 right now, so you're only saving $10 on Thursday. But if you want to save $10, wait until Thursday. There's no rush to do it because it's not like a daily publication. But if you want to rebalance your portfolio, if you want to see what's actually winning in Alpha Picks, you go over here, you get subscribed to it. What's really impressive about Alpha Picks is the performance up here. And it's 97% versus the S&P, which is 31%. And what they give you access to is basically everything that's in there. So you see the entire portfolio, you see when it was picked. And in fact, the next one I'll show you that Jay Ferrulo asked is MOD. Modine, I think is what it's called. Let me look real quick. We're going to do it by alphabetical order. And Modine Manufacturing. You can see Modine was picked in 12/15/22 and 1/2/24. So basically what they do, it's not for somebody who's trading every day. These guys buy on the beginning of the month, they buy in the middle of the month, and I think at the end of the month, and they take things out every now and then. But Modine Manufacturing, you can see 1/2/24, they have a 17% gain. Modine Manufacturing from 12/15/22, that is a 240%, and it's a strong buy. So if we look at Modine Manufacturing, you'll see it in here. If you have Seeking Alpha Premium, you then go over and you can do your own research into Modine. It's ranked number 1 in their industry out of 34, which is the auto parts and equipment stocks. I don't know why it's in that. If it's an AI stock, I have no idea. I haven't researched this one. But Modine and VRT, I think you're good on both. Honestly, I think you're good on both. But make sure you're buying on some type of pullback. You don't want to buy just because it's hyped up. I mean, the RSI is a little bit high. It's at 61. They just had their earnings, so they don't have really a catalyst. You can see the volume's kind of trending down. I kind of wait for it to die down a little bit. But MOD has been an alpha pick. Shep from Spotify, I'm up 140% in 2 months in SMCI. Am I holding till 800, 1,000 or more? And under 300 per IRA account, about 50K initial investment. Currently, it's 25% of my IRA. So SMCI, we went over. I mean, listen, I don't know if it's going to 800. I don't know if it's going to 1,000. You have to watch the charts. You have to understand, yes, this is a hype play. Yes, this is an AI play. Yes, this has some type of top. I don't know where it's at. Nobody knows where it's at. Are you going to pull back? For instance, were you buying down here at 258 when I said that there was a gap here at 341? Were you buying here, at 300 when I said, yeah, there's a gap here. It's got to fill it. Were you buying here and you went down to 260? Well, if you believe in this stock, you can buy more. Don't think that just because it's 25% of your IRA, play the position the way you want to play the position. SMCI is a solid company with growing earnings and in a market that is continuing to grow. Any financial advisor will tell you it's crazy that it's 25% of that's portfolio managers. My history is not that. My history has been let Apple run its course in a taxable account. And in an IRA, I'll trim it every now and then. And I just started trimming it because I just, kind of developed this strategy. You have to develop your own strategy, what works for you. What worked for me in the past with Apple was just buy and hold. I didn't think anything about it. I just bought and held. SMCI, maybe you're buy and hold. I can't tell you if it's going to 800. I can't tell you if it's going back to 700. My hypothesis is it hits 700 in the pre-market. It has 700 in it. But who knows? Again, you don't know. You watch the 5-minute chart. You can watch, if you're getting nervous about it. If this is the Shep, let me give you for instance. If this is the type of thing that you're asking somebody on the internet for help with, get the F out. That's the thing. You have to make up your own mind about this. It's not something that somebody can tell you. If you're asking somebody on the internet because you're losing sleep, get out. It's not worth losing sleep over. I am completely in. I doubled down on my position at about, I think, 600, 590 somewhere. I missed getting in on another position at 620. I will maybe get that chance, but you can clearly see the divergence here in the 5-minute between the RSI, between the MACD, and the stock price. To me, that's bullish. I think you got 700 in the stock, so I will probably buy more. Dan Lunker asked about Riot from Spotify. Bought in at 18. What can we expect in the near future? You can expect future downside. It's got weakness. I mean, everything. Bitcoin's got weakness. So it's an expensive stock. This is a miner. I particularly hold Mara at 26. Am I getting out? No, probably a mistake, but I'll take the loss when I need to. It's in a brokerage account, so I can write that off against my SMCI gains because both of them are short term. So that might be a play that you want to do, is if you have SMCI and you have Riot at 18, take the loss and just write it off against the gains, and you don't pay taxes. Performance over a year, 55%, they're not making money. That's as simple as that. You've got this clear top here at 18. If you bought in at 18, you bought in during the hype, and it's just gone down since. All of the crypto stuff was sell the news. Buy the hype, sell the news. Little hot shots, NFG. I don't even know what NFG is. Let's see. NFG, Natural Fuel Gas Company. This is oil and energy. I've been saying oil just hasn't come to fruition. NFG, get the hell out. Devon, I took it out of the core portfolio. I'm still holding. Not a major position. I don't need the cash. So if you don't need the cash, you can let it run. You can, it's got a nice 4.26% dividend, but it is downward. Target price is $58. Most recently, Scotiabank upgraded them to sector outperform. It's as good as I can get for you. NFG, the chart just tells me, get the hell out. It's just telling me, if you look at a long-term chart of NFG, like we did with Devon, and you look at this one, where you're trading at right now, pre-pandemic, you were at looks like about this price, 54. So, but you have no confirmation of anything going right in this stock right now at all. So a little hot shot, not so hot. Melissa, I've been looking at Infosys. It's tech stock from India with an upward trend and a lot of institutional investors. That's from Melissa on Facebook. Infosys, INFY. I do know a little bit about this company. Not much, but we use them as a consultancy firm, I think. It's a tech stock. I think that's what we use them for. Infosys, it's got confirmation. I mean, you've got a top here at 23. If we look at the valuation of this, I think it's going to be a little bit inflated. It's not greatly inflated. I mean, P of 23 with a growth stock, forward P of 25. When's their earnings? Let's see. If they had their earnings already, this is a weekly. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. Oh, it's still thinking. There we go. Infosys. It got you in at 18. It's been running up. Got a nice volume level being put in right there. So short term, I think you might be okay. Hold off on it. You might have another leg with the MACD cross up, but that RSI is a little bit high. It's a little bit overbought. They had their earnings. I don't think there's any reason to rush into it. I just think that maybe you kind of hold off on it. Let's see what Infosys. Buy. So, they're number 6 of 27 in their IT consulting. Gartner, symbol IT is the top one, Melissa. Scans, Palantir. I mean, that's holding at 21. It's holding at 21. So like I said, 1980, I think is the core one. Roblox, we had a cross up on Roblox. It's at $40.09. I think if you're under 40, I think you're okay. Again, if you buy it at 39 and it dips down to 34, this stock has shown it can go back to 40. So it's just an expensive stock and they've got to continue to provide it. Now, in my own personal portfolio, I own an ETF called IGM. And the reason is it's a tech sector. It's kind of like XLK. And if we go over here and we look at IGM, I just haven't been, trimming it or selling it. It's one that I got into because one of my brokerage firms did not allow me to look at XLK. But IGM, I'm going to edit symbols and I'm going to get rid of a bunch. We're going to get rid of all of these other ones. And I'm just going to look at XLK because that's essentially what it is. IGM, its holdings, it's a little bit different. No, I want XLK, not XLE. It's a little bit different in the holdings and you can take a look at it. But if we just compare it to XLK, IGM's up 50% over 1 year. Momentum, you can see A, B, dividends, C+. You don't get a dividend with IGM. I think if you look at the dividends, it's 0.25. XLK is 0.72. So it's a little bit better on dividends. I'm not that worried about dividends. I'm more worried about, I'd rather beat it on growth. Number of holdings, 285 in IGM. There's only 67 in XLK. Assets in the top 10, 54%. XLK has 69% in the top 10. Turnover, they only have 9% turnover, 19% in the XLK. So I do like IGM. It's got a cross up. And it's, again, it was a buy at 444. You're at 486. Bulls, BULZ. I don't know what this is. This is the FANG Innovation, 3 times leveraged. So this is bulls. USD, SDAO, UPRO, R1s, XLC, XLG, ANET. We talked about ANET. This is one, Arista Networks. We talked about it in Josh Brown's newsletter. Its MACD is crossing up. So it's crossing down a little bit today. Today you're down 2.19%, probably because of the run up. But this is one that I think you could buy before the earnings and probably, do very well in. I don't think that this one, while it's a little bit expensive, February 12th, next week, I think this is one you could buy in. All the rest of the scans will be in the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. It is free, 100% free, except for the weekends where I do, if you want to know what a button hook is, what divergence is, how I set my price for buy and sell over and under, what a golden cross is, what a PE is. We talked about PE with NVIDIA and SMCI. If any of that stuff doesn't make sense, consider signing up for a free 7-day trial. And you can read everything that I do. I try and leave the weekend newsletters to about a 10 to 15 minute read. If you go into depth and you click the links in the paid newsletter, it could go to 20 to 25, maybe 30 minutes. But for $120 on the year, that is $10 a month. $10 a month, and you get up to 4 paid newsletters. Because, some months don't have 4 weeks, but up to 4. So $10 is less than $2 per newsletter. And trust me, if I were playing piano on the street, yeah, you wouldn't give me $2, but you might as a tip, if I gave you a drink. That's kind of what the paid newsletter is. So, but during the week, it's completely free. And trust me, just SMCI for the people that signed up. And I said, hey, you should get in at this price. And that was completely free. That was not part of the paid newsletter. That was completely free. Go over to Linktree and you got everything that you need. Seeking Alpha Premium, it's $189 a year. I can't live without it. It is such a great information source, saved me time. Webull, if you're not signed up with Webull and you're not if you're doing sports gambling, sign up with Webull. It's way better during the week and you have a lot more chance of making money in Webull than you do sports gambling. I'll just put it out there like that. Visible. The $20 off your first month phone service. If you're paying anything more than $20 a month for your phone service, you're out of your mind, because you can click on that link. You get $20 off your first month. And guess what? Your first month is $20, and it's $20 for the next 2 years. And I have this exact service, the lower one. I do not have the higher service. I have the lower service at $20 a month. So it's a far better plan. It's on the Verizon network. It is 100% just what you think that is, and it's $20. So yeah, and you can do eSIM. So say you're not sure if you want to switch, but you have an iPhone, a newer iPhone, you can just do an eSIM. You go online, you download the SIM, and then later you can port your number in. So you can sign up for the $20 for the first month. You get the first month free, and then you can sign up again and port your number in. Yeah, and get $20 off for the first month again because you're porting your number in. Just use a different email address, I think. But yeah. Any other the support stuff? Thank you guys, Larry and Brandon and everybody who's tipped me over the past couple of days. I posted my YouTube earnings. If you've made money in SMCI, NVIDIA, anything that I suggested, give me $1. Holla for you. I'm hollering for my dollar. Holla for your dollar. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, they're all down here. Just to say thank you. I'd appreciate it. All of the social networks up here. Any questions that you have, hit me up. I got my email address here, or you can hit me up on any of the socials. Take care. I will be back tomorrow. What earnings are we looking at today? I'm hoping Uber tomorrow, is really solid. I'm a little bit skeptical of it because it's run so much. Today it's Fortinet and Amgen. I like those two, but okay. Take care.
Every
Bye.
morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.